26th of October, I went to go see the long-awaited Five Nights at Freddy's movie. So obviously, you know, I am a massive Five Nights at Freddy's fan. I have been a fan for 8 years, and I absolutely love the movie. It was amazing. Obviously, no movie's perfect, but this movie was amazing. My cinema clapped like 4 times. That's how incredible it was. So obviously, this video will contain spoilers for the FNaF movie. If you haven't watched it, go watch it first, then come back to this video. I highly recommend you have your own opinion on the movie. And don't base your opinion on what other people say. Just have your own opinion. That's a good thing. So in this video, I'll do a recap of the whole film, explaining Easter eggs, cameos, and other details along the way. And then I'll give my final thoughts and rating at the end. It started with the old Freddy's security guard trying to escape the pizzeria and later being caught by Foxy. And then put in the Torture Freddy trap. I was already expecting this to be an opening scene since it makes the most sense, like so Mike can get the new job at Freddy's, because obviously there's no position, the position is open if someone died. The opening credits are done in an 8-bit style minigame, just like the old FNaF games and how Scott used to show the lore. This 8-bit cutscene shows the missing children incident of Springbonnie going to the back room and collecting the 5 kids to take them to the back room and stuff them in the suits, which looks absolutely incredible. Great way to start the film. So first we get introduced to Mike, who works at a mall, and he's reading a book called Dream Theory, which ties into the latest story of the movie. And Dream Theory is obviously a theory from 2015, where the first 4 FNaF games were all in the mind of the crying child. And he sees a man with a kid, thinking that the kid is being kidnapped by the man, and Mike beats the shit out of the guy in a fountain and gets fired. Obviously, you'd obviously get fired from that, just like attacking an innocent guy. Also in the scene, we can see Mike get an ice cream from an ice cream parlor, which has Chica's Magic Rainbow as the mascot, which is pretty cool, from FNaF World. Mike goes to Steve Raglan, who is a career counselor, to look for a new job, and Steve offers him the night shift at Freddy's. Mike eventually takes the job as he has no other option, and it's not really a good job in the first place because he has to take care of his little sister Abby, which obviously he can't really take a job that's at night. He has to take care of his little sister, but he has no other option, so he just takes the job anyway. Mike's first night goes pretty well, with him just looking around the pizzeria, watching a tape that was left behind from Steve. So the tape just like normal security tape, talking about Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and the history behind it. And Steve just gives him details like the phone guy does in FNaF 1. Mike falls asleep on the job, which ties into Dream Theory. And he dreams a lot about his little brother Garrett, who got kidnapped as a child. And he sees 5 children who look very similar to the 5 animatronics in the FNaF 1 game. And he also meets Vanessa, who knows a lot about Freddy's past. Vanessa used to go to Freddy's a lot, so obviously she'll know about Freddy's history and stuff. She's also a cop too, she probably knows a lot about the crime behind Freddy's. So Mike goes home from his first night at Freddy's, and we get introduced to Abby's babysitter, Max, which we later find out that she and her friends are working with Mike's evil aunt, Aunt Jane, to get Michael fired from Freddy's and give Aunt Jane custody of Abby. They talk about this in a diner named Sparky's, which is a reference to Sparky the dog, which is the original FNaF hoax from 2014, and Matt Pet also appears and says his famous line, "That's just a theory." Max and a gang of robbers go to Freddy's to trash up the place and find whatever is valuable. And obviously, they'll get attacked by the animatronics. Each of them dies by one of the animatronics, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy. So Carl gets killed by Mr. Cupcake, which is a reference to the fan name Carl the Cupcake. And so Carl gets killed by Carl, and Chica launches Mr. Cupcake at Carl and kills him. Carl also wears a Midnight Murderous shirt, which is a reference to the FNaF 6 minigame. Hank gets killed by Bonnie in the supply closet, which is a reference to Bonnie being in the supply closet from FNaF 1. Jeff gets killed by Foxy, and Foxy runs down the hallway, obviously from FNaF 1. He says his little dum diddly dum dum song, which is another reference to FNaF 1. And Max is probably the most insane death of the whole movie, where she gets lured to the back room by the Freddy spirit, and she gets bit in half, like only her legs are left, like Freddy straight up just did the bite of 2000. And the death was probably my favorite in the whole film. I was not expecting it. My whole theater was like shocked. It was insane. So Mike, now not having a babysitter to babysit Abby, he now has to take Abby to work. And he just tells Abby to sleep in the office while Mike cleans up the place and the robbers. And Mike wakes up to find that Abby is playing with the animatronics in the main dining area. And Vanessa also shows up and tells Mike that Abby should not be here. But Abby just has fun with the animatronics, and they build like a little fort out of the tables and tablecloths. Pretty cute scene there, very funny, very silly. And then Vanessa just tells Mike that Abby shouldn't be here and that Abby can get hurt. Mike goes to Freddy's again and sleeps on the job, just like always. The children's spirits give him a choice of being happy and having dreams with his family and Garrett still being alive, but they have to take Abby in return. Mike chooses to have happy dreams, but instantly regrets them, and the child spirits start beating him up and slashing him, and he wakes up with all of the cuts on his body and inside of the Torture Freddy trap. Luckily, he escapes though, and he sees the bodies of the robbers inside of a Sparky Dog costume and a Shadow Freddy costume. Shadow Freddy was revealed in the security footage teaser. Vanessa later finds Mike and stitches him up and explains that Springbonnie now knows that Mike is here, and who Vanessa mentions that Springbonnie is her dad, William Afton. And she says that William Afton killed 5 kids at Freddy's and stuffed them into the bodies of the animatronics, and now the kids possess them. So at the moment, Abby is at home with Aunt Jane, and the camera pans around the corner and we can see Golden Freddy standing in the hallway. Aunt Jane is killed off screen by Golden Freddy, and the Golden Freddy spirit tells Abby that they have to go back to Freddy's, and they take a cab driver to Freddy's, which the cab driver is actually Corey Kenshin, which is another YouTuber in the film. And then when they get to Freddy's, Chica tries to stuff Abby into an Ella Springlock costume, Ella being one of the Charlie's toys from the Silver Eyes. Mike rushes to the pizzeria with given instructions from Vanessa and stuns Freddy and Bonnie, who are singing on stage. He pours some water onto the stage and shocks them with like a taser, and that zaps him out for basically the whole movie. Mike goes to the back room to save Abby from Chica, and then Mike gets attacked by the cupcake in the utility hallway, and then Abby gets hunted down by Foxy in the arcade room, which is another reference to the FNaF Silver Eyes books, and she hides in the ball pit and then gets saved by Vanessa. While getting away from the cupcake, Mike meets Springbonnie, who beats the shit out of him. Springbonnie attacks him, and then Mike shoots his little taser gun at Springbonnie. Does absolutely nothing to him. He just stands there and then charges at Mike and starts kicking him up. He literally kicks him in the face. Springbonnie tells Mike that he was the one who killed his little brother Garrett, and now he's gonna kill Mike. And then Vanessa comes into the shot and shoots William with her gun, and then William stabs his own daughter. Abby knows that the animatronics are being influenced by this one drawing that is on the poster of the wall, and that the drawing shows Springbonnie being happy with the 5 kids. And now she replaces it with a drawing of Springbonnie killing the 5 kids. The animatronics turn on William. The cupcake lunges at William, ripping part of his suit, revealing the springlocks underneath. The springlocks go off and puncture William's stomach, and Afton says his famous line, "I always come back," putting on the Springbonnie head while twitching, and the animatronics drag him away into the back room. Past Michael, Abby, and Vanessa get out of the building as the building collapses around them. The final scenes of the movie show Vanessa in a hospital bed with Mike sitting by her side, and then we see Afton in a back room of parts and service twitching while the Golden Freddy spirit watches him and shuts the door on his face. The credits play the Living Tombstone's classic FNaF 1 song, and we see Corey back again in the taxi, and we see Balloon Boy sitting in his passenger seat. In this movie, Balloon Boy's more like a little action figure. Balloon Boy appears a couple times in the movie. He appears in the security office and jump scares Mike. Mike just looks at him and he gets scared. Obviously, I'd be pretty scared if I saw that. The final credits play the Puppets music box from FNaF 2, and someone says "Come find me" in the FNaF 2 minigame voice, COMEFINDME. Just like how the FNaF 2 minigame sounds, like the Save Them thing. That's probably William in the Springbonnie suit. He's probably going to be found later in the timeline of the FNaF movies. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Very it's definitely hinting at a second movie with Balloon Boy and stuff. That was my full recap of the film. Now I'll talk about what I loved, I hated, and what I think that could be improved. So I loved how the animatronics looked in the film. I made a video about a week ago talking about how realistic they looked and how they compared to the original FNaF 1 classics from FNaF 1 made by Scott. And I felt they looked really robotic in the FNaF movie, which looked really good. I know they had a costume, a second, one for costume, one for robotics, which you could barely tell they were actually costumes in the movie. They looked mainly robotic. All the animatronics were amazing, realistic, and creepy. They even menacing at times, mainly in the kitchen. You can see Chica staring at Hank, which looked really creepy. The human characters were also great. Mainly Matthew Lillard as William Afton was amazing. He was such a cool character while in Springbonnie and just out of the suit. Springbonnie is probably my favorite character in the whole movie. I just love how he moves, all his voice acting, all of his voice lines were great. He was really menacing, really creepy. Probably the creepiest character in the whole movie, in my opinion. He just had great acting throughout the whole film. I wish he was kind of used more. but it like made the scenes, like with him not being used that much, made the scenes of him more special. Like made the big finale at the end look really great. The Springlock scene was also amazing too. Like William Afton is like actually like he's acting like how you should act. Well, not should act, like how an employee of Fazbear Entertainment should act. Like it's cool seeing the Springlock scene like not in 8-bit. Because like William obviously knows, he's the one who built the animatronics. He knows how to breathe calmly and not scream and not like move around in like crazily. Josh Hutcherson, Piper Rubio, and Elizabeth Lail all did a great job as the main characters of the film, Mike, Vanessa, and Abby. I felt like Vanessa's backstory could have been explored a bit more, as she was like a completely new character like in the FNaF series. Like she's not the Vanessa from Security Breach, she's a completely different one. Like this movie takes place around 2000, so Vanessa in Security Breach wouldn't really be like an adult then. So obviously this is a brand new character. I wish she was explored more because she's William Afton's daughter. Like obviously she needs more explaining, like what her past is with Freddy's. She obviously went to Freddy's a lot, like how the Crying Child did in FNaF 4. All of the music in the film was amazing too, and fit the tone of the movie. The Living Tombstones FNaF 1 song at the end is a great place to put such a classic FNaF song from YouTube. Obviously it's extremely popular, everyone knows it at this point. It's amazing they had it at the end credit scene. Puppet's music box was also great too. All of the the normal music, like the old music they use in the film was also really good as well. Like it fit the tone, like Talking in Your Sleep by the Romantics was fits the tone of FNaF, like in that time period. All the YouTuber cameos were also really cool as well. Seeing YouTubers like Corey Kenshin, MattPat, Dorko, Fusion Gamer, 8-Bit Ryan, and a bunch of others in the movie was crazy to see on a big screen. Like that's insane to see all those YouTubers that normal people out in the public wouldn't know, but obviously FNaF fans will know who they are. Some things I wish were added in the film was a bit more screen time for Golden Freddy. He mainly appears in child spirit form. He only appears an actual animatronic in the taxi and at the house with Aunt Jane and Abby. That's about it though. He appears 2 times in the whole film as an animatronic. A little bit disappointing there, but I feel like they could have just added a bit more scenes with him. Mainly at the end credits. After end credits, it could have been I think it should have been the Golden Freddy suit, just slumped in the corner, watching William Afton twitch in the Springbonnie suit. That would have been really cool. Just at the end of UCN. That would remind me of. I also feel the animatronics could have more jump scares in the film. FNAF's known for its jump scares. There wasn't that many jump scares aside from Balloon Boy, Foxy. That's about it. That's mainly all the issues I have with the film. Not many issues. I'd give the movie a 9 out of 10. As a FNAF fan, I really loved it. I'd give it a 10 out of 10, but those issues kind of weigh it down to 9 out of 10. I know most people probably give it a really bad score if you're not a really big FNAF fan. But obviously I am. I'm a big FNAF fan for 8 years. So obviously I'd love the film a lot. So yeah, that's just my opinion on the film. You can have your own opinion. If you watch the film, go comment in the comments and say what you like about the film, what you dislike about the film, what your rating would be if you've watched it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed the FNAF movie. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye!